Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome to the pool party. I hope you can swim because we're definitely diving into the deep end with a huge splash of truth, facts, evidence, information, and proof. Swim. Say what you mean. It's talk about talking. How we listen, how we hear, how we speak, how we hear what we're listening to when we speak, how a listener hears what we're saying, if what we're saying, what they're actually hearing and or understanding. Is it clear? Swim. Say what you mean. Well, that's just the beginning of understanding, because after we get that understanding, how do we accept it? How we respond if it's not what we expect is paramount. Are you okay with the truth? Are you man, woman, human, or spiritual enough to accept the truth? Let's find out. Welcome to The Swimming Pool with your host, Travis Bridges.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Man, what's going on here? Wow, would you look at this? I gotta figure out what's happening here because I am looking for something that I can't find, and I am all in the black, but I'm not in the black now. I gotta figure out what happened there. How y'all doing? Welcome to another edition of the Swimming Pool. Well, how about this? Welcome to another edition of Swim, and this is the Swimming Pool. I am your host, Travis Bridges, but you just heard that, didn't you? I just like saying it again because hearing comes, no. It's just good to hear things again. And my nose would start itching as soon as I get on camera. Anyway, hey Kimberly, how you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I certainly am. I said weekend, didn't I? I meant Wednesday. Wednesday weekend. It sort of kind of sounds the same. Anyway, we're continuing Black History Month. And I've been focusing on Muhammad Ali and his stance as an American and what happened with him as it relates to the American Armed Forces and wartime in America. So as much as there are so many other people that we could spotlight on, I just feel like keeping it on him. But I have two special guests that we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk to, and we're going to talk about retirement. Retirement is something that we all hope to do at some point in time. And I often wonder, why do people get excited about retiring? Because it's quitting time for work. It's just like getting out of school, getting off work, finishing. It's a completion. Subconsciously, it's what it is. So if you work, or if you have a job, or if you are employed, or if you do something to generate increase for yourself, at some point in time, you're going to do what we call retire. Retire is just that time where you stop doing what you do so that you can relax. And there's a system that's set up called Social Security that you're able to draw from if you are an American. And if you have, of course, put into that system, you can sort of get some of what you put out. And it's a way to encourage you to actually work so that you can put money into that system. Sometimes that money comes back to you, sometimes it doesn't. And from what I understand, some of that money just disappeared and went somewhere, and nobody really knows where it went. But they're saying that it may not be there when people like me retire or people in my age group retire. I don't understand that. And I'm not that kind of guy who does a whole lot of research because I just like talking about talking. So when this subject comes up, whether I know a lot about or not, I talk about what I know, and then I just keep going. So retirement is, what we look forward to after working so long, and Social Security is what you get. It's amazing that while you're working, you're putting this money away and you're living on what you're working for, and you're using it to pay into the system that allows you to survive, whether it's through shelter and food and clothing. Then when you finish, a little bit of what you put aside goes towards what will help you for the rest of your life. There's something weird about it. It's not enough, and it's definitely not what you would make. And you just get it. And it's just, I guess, to at least keep food in your mouth. Because based on what I hear, everybody that gets retirement money, it's not enough. And they still have to do that dreadful thing of going out and getting another job after you have worked most of your life. Come on, man. Something's wrong with that. I don't know what it is. Just doesn't feel right in this area right here of my soul. So with that being said, we're going to talk about Social Security. We're going to talk about retirement a little bit. And we're going to talk about continuing Black History Month in the good old USA, particularly what Muhammad Ali has to say, or what he had to say about why he dodged the draft or refused to go to war, and how and why he did not necessarily want to be a part of the armed forces. And he said, he didn't want to go and fight anybody who did nothing wrong to him. And he just was not a fighter. And ministers supposedly are exempt from going to war. And he was a minister according to his religion, which is Muslim, as he said. But for some reason, because of whatever the reason was, they wanted to make sure that he was made an example of what would happen if you dodged the draft and or refused to join the armed forces. So anyway, Adam Froman is in the house. Can't stay, but will catch the recording later. Still want to connect. Love you, bro. Right back at you, Adam. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Anthony Morrow's in the house. Christine is in the house. Hey, Christine, what's happening, girl? Haven't heard from you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Anyway, things have changed for me, and I'm kind of sitting at a different section in the Hollywood home studio. We're going to be hooking it back up in a little bit, and man, you guys are going to remember when he said he was going to do something good and something spectacular. Well, I am, and you'll just wait and see. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a short break, and I'm going to come back. I have two guests, and we're going to talk about their retirement, just some basic stuff. But before I do that, I want to talk about something that caught my attention that Muhammad Ali said. It's just been on my heart, it's been on my mind, and it's in my soul. And he wrote a poem about the truth. And of course, it made me think about a lie. So I posted something last week. If you look at while he's doing his poem, I wrote my little poem about a lie as he's actually talking about the truth and a lie. Wow, it's amazing that they're on opposite ends and they are so impactful. The truth can impact your life just like a lie can, and a truth can impact circumstances, just as much as a lie can, and in good and both ways. You believe a lie can make things good for you? And the truth can make things bad for you? How is that possible? Well, keep living, you'll find out. Anyway, I'm going to go to the bit about Muhammad Ali and what he has to say about the truth, and listen to it. It's really good. I'm going to keep this a part of me for a long time, and I guess this was done a very long time ago. But I just got wind of it a couple of weeks ago, and it's just going to be a part of who I am. And I love it. I like it. And I like it. I love it. And I want more of it. The truth, that is. Anyway, stand by. When I come out of this, I'll go into a short commercial, and then I'll come back with my guest. Oh, by the way, do me a small favor, man. I'm going to be needing some subscribers. And I just almost hate it when people start, talking about, hey, subscribe and like. People will like your stuff if they like it, and they will click on the like if they like it. So you don't almost have to tell people, but it doesn't hurt. Do me a favor, every one of you right now. I've got 8 people. Can you get 3 people to just like my page? Because I need it. I want to be able to go live and from a remote location. That's going to be interesting, and some other things that come with the benefits of having subs, as they say. My YouTube channel is a little small right now. I'm going to be working on some serious. Oh, by the way, I got some footage off of my drone while I was away over the summer. I tried some practicing, with, becoming a drone pilot. That's one of the things that's up and coming on my to-do bucket list. And I was finally able to get the footage. I'm going to share that with you too, and some amazing photos that I experienced over the summer, my summer experience of writing my book. So I'm really going to now, after seeing the footage on a screen, it's only 1080p. It's it's a higher resolution on the drone, but I think I'm only seeing it in a different resolution. But it's beautiful. It looks good. It's great. I'm going to share that with you in a little bit. I like drones, and I'm going to be working on my skills as a drone pilot. Anyway, I'm going to play this bit from Muhammad Ali, and you enjoy it, okay? It is his poem on the truth.
Yes, I've always been a great admirer of your ability as a poet. Have you had to work hard at it, or is it just sheer genius?
It comes to me. It comes to me naturally, and I do it mainly because of my fights. Little simple rhymes. I just wrote a poem the other day entitled Truth. It says, "The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last." That's a masterpiece.
Now, did you...
Yes, it was indeed a masterpiece. How did you like it? Did you like it? Just before I go into my little short break, I'm going to read the lie. It's still on the screen, and I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to try to read it, in the same way Muhammad Ali did his truth. It goes like this. A lie is the offspring of darkness and defeat. A lie is the Hail Mary before hell's fiery heat. A real good lie may last a year or two. The mirror reflects the liar if that lie includes you.
Mighty horn music. Mighty horn music.
As time draws near and you plan your social events, call Mighty Horn Music for a party you and your friends will never forget. From banquets, receptions, family reunions, and church functions to birthday, executive, or private parties, Mighty Horn delivers. Event packages include live musicians, psalmists, comedians, clowns, and a karaoke show that's guaranteed to make you laugh. Mighty Horn Music specializes in providing a variety of music to keep your guests going for hours. Mighty Horn Music. Let us create a custom sound for your special event. From start to finish, Mighty Horn Music will plan your theme, decorate, cater, and entertain your guests with class and style. This year, make your events live with Mighty Horn Music. Call 786-487-7338, 786-487-7338, or log on to mightyhornmusic.com and let's party.
What's cracking, man?
What is that? 6 hours or 6 minutes?
I said 6 hours. You can't hear.
Oh, yeah. Must have been 6 hours.
Look at here, man. I don't need your mess. Sounds like you gumming some grub.
I'm just finishing it up now. I'm
Okay.
done.
Well, I got you're on my live stream right now. How much time do we have?
Oh, I'm on live stream while I'm chewing.
Yeah, but nobody knows who you are. We don't say names. Nobody will never know it's you.
Okay, that's good. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I want to talk to you about some other stuff in regards to the studio, and we'll do that off the air. But right now, I want to talk to you about your newfound life and lifestyle. I've always thought about retiring, which is something I'll never do. And I know just because you're not working a job anymore, I know you're not retiring either. You're just not working that particular job. But what I want to do is just get your thoughts, views, comments, your energy, your attitude, as it relates to not working a job anymore and now being able to collect what they would call Social Security.
Yeah, all that money that I paid in all these years.
Right. So is that what retirement means to you now? You get to collect some of that?
And now it just means that you got more free time to do things that you really wanted to do before, but then never had time to do it.
Right, but does the Social Security, in terms of the pay, are you making the same or less than what you would be making if you were working?
Are you kidding me? Way less.
Way less. So how is that going to work out for your lifestyle?
Well, lifestyle will change unless you find other gainful employment.
But what's the purpose of retiring if you need to find other gainful employment?
Well, because you have a supplement now, you can actually do something that might pay less, but it's more fun to do.
Okay, so that's the idea. That's why people who are able still work, because they have this coming in that they don't have to put time in to get, which means they can use their time for something else to supplement.
Yep.
So is it worth it, you think? Is it worth it to you?
Sure.
So not having to go to work and getting what you're getting for what would be considered what you paid in, it's an even trade. Was it worth what you paid in?
Well, I never really stopped to add up how much it was. But, the fact that you do have it coming in is somewhat of a nice fallback.
Mm-hmm.
But you never get back what you pay, everything you paid in there.
It's impossible. We couldn't take care of everybody if everybody got everything back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. So, what's your overall feeling?
It's kind of a strange thing. You wake up, you don't have to get up and go to work, and at night, you don't have to worry about going to bed any particular time because you have to worry about getting up early in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And, you have freedom to do stuff, and you're not regimented, so that's pretty cool.
So, I know it's only been, a week now, right?
Not even.
Not even a week.
Not even.
Are you happy, or is it just normal? Do you feel like you got something new? What is the actual feeling? How would you describe the feeling? Happy, excited?
Well, it's kind of too new to really understand at this point. It's only been a couple of days.
Uh-huh.
And one day was a holiday, so really 2 days.
So you've been officially retired 2 days.
Yeah.
You fresh off the boat.
Fresh.
And you haven't had time. You haven't even had time to soak it in. Let me ask you this. When your job realized that you were I guess they knew, but did they treat you real good all the way out the door?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did.
Well, you're that kind of guy that, you just, nobody can treat you bad. I can only imagine, somebody like me, they'll be holding the door saying, get out, But you're the kind of guy that, they probably hated to see go. Did they offer you any kind of...
I worked all the way through, you know what I'm saying? I didn't, some people, get that 2 weeks notice and they pretty much check out.
Right.
But that's not the way I do things.
So you worked all the way through?
Yep.
Did they give you a watch? Another one, rather?
No, I didn't get another one.
Did you get any kind of gift before you left?
Yeah. Got a few little things.
Like a few little bonuses.
And they had a nice gathering before I left. They called all the employees in. We had a catered lunch.
Oh man, that was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask you a question. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Did you cry?
Got a little choked up, but no crying.
So that means you cried.
Nah.
Come on, man.
I'd say if I cried, I'd say, yo, man, I broke down boo-hoo crying, but no, it didn't happen.
So did they make speeches and all that?
Yeah, we all made a speech. I made a speech. The boss made a speech. My immediate boss made a speech. The president made a speech.
So wait,
sweet to the point.
How did you avoid crying?
Well, you think about you don't have to get up and go to work anymore. You don't have to listen to all the noise.
No, but I mean that moment when everybody was bidding you all the farewells and the reality hit that, okay, they're just giving me their little speeches. And you said you got choked up. Oh, I think you've been, nice about it. But how did you avoid a whole breakdown?
I don't know. It just didn't really overtake me to that point.
So are you going to get another side job or what are you going to do? You don't know yet?
Don't know yet. Still trying to figure it out.
And how's your family taking it? How's the adjustment within the past couple of days around the house?
Those are expected, so nothing earth-shattering.
Are you? Have you eaten more around the house in the last 2 days?
No. I made a point not to do that.
Okay, so the refrigerator hadn't seen a few more visits since you've been in the house.
No. That's the last thing you want to do.
Okay.
Unless you want to sit around the house.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you giving me this time. Any advice for anybody else who's, working and might have 5 years? I talked to someone else who said they have 7 more years before they retire. 7 years to me is an eternity.
It seems like it, but you know what? It'll go by pretty fast. If you're doing something that you don't mind doing, it'll go by pretty fast.
Did the whole time go by for you fast?
Oh, yeah. I remember coming to this particular company 18, going on 19 years ago.
Wow.
And it seems like a couple of years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to wish you well. I'm really happy for you. I'm proud of you that you stuck it out, and to know that somebody that I know personally made it to at least break even with the system, to at least collect one check, makes me feel good. So
exactly. Yeah.
I want to wish you well. And I do have a few projects because I know you good at what you do, and we talked about it already. As soon as we hang up this line, I want to tell you what I need already. Maybe put a few more dollars in your pocket. But I look forward to seeing you a whole lot more.
Oh yeah, no problem.
And I think we do for lunch. I think it's your time to buy.
It's mine. Okay, it's me.
So I think we need to get that out the way within the next few weeks.
No doubt.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
I gotta come look at the room anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
Do what you want to do. Exactly. So we do it then.
Okay. I'll talk to you, man. Appreciate you. Congratulations.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. 10-4.
All right. Bye.
And there you have it. That's my buddy. We talked about his retirement situation. And I'm going to talk about another retirement situation when I come back. I think it's amazing that you work for a long time, and when you stop working, however much you put, I wonder if it breaks even, or, you can't get all of it back, because based on your lifespan and then expenses and inflation, you just don't get it back. I guess it's, there's a reason for that. But, it is what it is. No sense in crying about it. But, I just feel like talking about it. What's wrong with talking, right? There's nothing wrong with talking. Nobody getting hurt, I hope. Anyway, I have another guest, and we're going to talk about another retirement situation as we celebrate Black History Month. Don't move.
The Swimming Pool with Travis Bridges is a talk segment about talking. Talk about talking? Yes, talk about talking. It's designed to bring awareness to how we listen, how we hear, and what we do with the information we receive during communication. The mind is automatically programmed to protect the body and soul. It displays that through each and every encounter we experience. If any part of the body is threatened, the mind will automatically issue the flight command. The flight command to retreat to safety. Well, that same command is also deployed when our ego is threatened. The ego, yes, the ego. It's so natural and common, it happens oftentimes without us even knowing. Engaging in conversation and staying focused on what is present is considered mental fitness. It strengthens our emotions and helps us to gain control of our circumstances instead of having our circumstances overtake our thinking and our very existence. It's a difficult task to achieve because our feelings, beliefs, and desires are so strong that it causes us to totally disregard even the most common or basic reasoning. This live stream is only here to bring awareness to that subconscious process. Nothing or no one is actually wrong. However, the idea of being open to anything outside of what we've already concluded is golden, especially if the new information is transparent. The swim developers would like to say thanks for supporting, watching, listening, and sharing this information. Now, back to the swimming pool. Let's dive in and swim.
Well, hello, Travis. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you. Remember I told you.
Yes, thank you for a great lunch.
Absolutely. Remember I told you today I wanted to interview you on my live stream about retiring? Oh. Yeah. Well, we're live now.
Okay.
Is this a bad time?
No, I can talk.
Okay, good. You don't have to say your name. Nobody will know it's you unless they recognize your beautiful voice and then say, oh, I know who that is. So we don't usually say names or brands or titles.
Okay.
So we're just going to talk about, I guess, the experience. And strange as it may be, I just hung up the phone with another buddy of mine, very close engineer friend of mine. I think I told you about him earlier today.
Yes.
He just retired fresh, 2 days in retirement. And,
2 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said his first day was a holiday, so he doesn't count that. But yeah, he's 2 days in, and we talked about it. So I kind of want to talk to you about your retirement.
Right.
How long has it been since you've been retired?
April of 2019.
So that's April 2019, 2021. You're almost 3 years then.
Almost 3 years in. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me. Hold on, I needed to mute something there. Yeah, that was. It was on time though.
Yeah, it was.
I know. We'll see how that works with the interview.
Right.
But tell me about what you thought about retiring and when it actually happened, and the difference between how you felt when you first retired as you feel now, almost 3 years later. So tell me, what did you think about retirement when you were, let's just say, 20 years before you retired? What was the thought of retirement like?
I never really thought about retirement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wasn't really thinking about it. I didn't start thinking about retirement until, I'm going to say maybe 5 years before I actually retired. I started thinking about it, when I, became of age and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking of my finances and things like, if I retire, what would that look like?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a couple of sisters retired before me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though one was a year older, the other one was a year younger. But they retired at 62. Okay. I didn't. Okay. I waited for a full retirement. I mean, well, not full retirement, my actual retirement. Full retirement is 70. But I was not planning on working until I was 70. Mm-hmm. I want to enjoy my retirement.
I know, and that's what I was asking my buddy. It's like, what I'm happy about is that at least somebody I know personally gets the opportunity to enjoy some of what we put in, because many people don't get to see it. I had someone very close to me transition just a few months before retirement, and it was just incredible, that we were not able to see not one dime of it. And it's not like, anyone gets it. It goes back into some pot somewhere. And, then there are some people who don't get it for other reasons too. But to know that someone outlived that system to be able to enjoy it. So as it relates to your salary, not to talk about the numbers or anything, but do you make less than you made when you were working?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Okay, he said the same thing.
I mean, Social Security does not, I'm just going to say, it's not going to pay all your bills. You know what I'm saying? And when you apply for it, like 62, you're not going to get as much as when you retire at your full retirement age for whatever year you were born.
Right.
You get much more. And then if you wait until you're 70, you get even more.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and then Social Security, they really don't tax you, not unless you ask them to take taxes. But my younger sister, who retired at 62, when I decided to retire, she said, sign up for them to take taxes out so you don't have to pay taxes on your Social Security money.
Wow. You mean take taxes out of what they actually pay you? So your Social Security money is taxed?
Yes, it is.
Oh, my goodness.
It is. A lot of people don't know that, but if it wasn't for, I would have done my research, but if it wasn't for her, I would not have thought about it. But I do. I have them take taxes out. It still helps maintain, what I do. Plus, I have 2 jobs that I had prior to the company I retired from. I worked for. I'm on their pension plan, and then of course the company that I retired from, they have a pension plan too. It's so not a lot, but it's enough.
Right, it helps, and of course
it helps.
You pay taxes. Do you pay taxes on a pension as well?
No.
Oh, okay, no. That's cool.
Because it's really not that much that I'm earning from both pension plans for the year, so they don't tax it. If it's less than X amount of dollars, they don't tax it.
Okay, so
what I mean?
It's just a little something that keeps you from working another job.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me ask you this: the idea of you working another job, has that crossed your mind at all? No. I do not want to go back into the workforce. It doesn't make sense for me to do that if I'm retired. I just don't. I don't want to work for somebody. Right.
Or have an obligation to work for someone else. I do have a side gig that I do that I enjoy doing. It's not supplementing my income, but I enjoy it. And I want to do something that I enjoy. In retirement, you want to be able to do the things that you enjoy. And it's not something that you have to do in order for you to supplement your income. And that's what a lot of people need to think about, your financial situation when you decide to retire. You want to make sure that when you decide to retire, that your financial situation is not going to be too tight for you, that you can't do some of the things that you want to enjoy doing in your retirement. And then make you feel as though, well, dang, I need to go get a job. And you just left a job.
Right.
That's why you retired. So you got to plan it. That's all I'm going to say. You got to plan.
Did it seem like it happened fast? Let's just say 25 years ago. Does that time seem like it went by fast to you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It did.
You know, while you're waiting, it seems like it's a long, like right now, to think 25 years from now, that seems like a long time. But if you think back, it doesn't. I think there's some magic. I think when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask God, what was that about? Like, why does when you're waiting, it seems like a long time, but after it passed, it doesn't seem like a long time? I'm sure there's some kind of explanation somewhere. Some therapist or psychologist somewhere can explain why that is. It's like waiting, watching the water boil type of syndrome or something. But so 25 years ago doesn't seem like a long time ago now that it has happened.
No, it does not. No, it doesn't. Time flies. It really, really does.
Did it seem like that, 25 years ago, when you thought about, retirement times, if, just glanced at it for a moment, did it seem like it was going to be like right now? Does 25 years from now seem like a long time to you now?
No, it does not. No.
And, that's another thing I think that comes with, the aging process. Once you've experienced it, it doesn't seem like long. And I think that's where, I think that term time flies when you're having fun was birthed from, no young person ever said that. Only people who are, past 50
I believe that too.
says that. Because young folk, will say, oh my God, it takes a long time for everything, but it really does not. As a child, when my mother told me we're going to do it next week, I thought, man, forget about it. If I've got to wait till next week, I don't even want whatever it is. Forget about it.
Right.
You know how old
That's
I'll
too
be
long.
next week?
That's too long. Why can't we do it tomorrow?
Right. I'll be, and even tomorrow, when she said tomorrow, it's like, what? That's too long. Yo.
So we want to do it right now.
Immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand, because they think they have forever. They don't, young people they don't get it yet. They will eventually,
of course.
But
I certainly didn't get it, but I definitely get it now.
Yeah. So I'm glad I did. So, and when I did it and how I did it, I planned it. I started 5 years out before my full retirement age.
Right.
I knew that if I was going to retire at my full retirement age, I needed to plan. So you work out, whatever debt that you have. You don't want to retire with credit card debt or car note or whatever it is. Mortgage is one thing because that's an investment. You know what I'm saying? But you want to plan it, and you want to know what your financial situation is each month. Once you pay all of your obligations that you have to do, like if you have a mortgage and your power, light, water, whatever you have going on, phone, those are essential bills. But what do you have, after all of that, and then be able to do the things that you want to do.
Something just popped into my head, and you and I can be the originators of this idea. I just thought of something. Let's just say, instead of, the powers that be, instead of giving you a portion of what you put in and calling it Social Security, since Social Security is supposedly not going to be around for some people and it's supposed to be running out and this, that, and the other, I have a proposal. And this will be the first place that it'll be exposed to the world. And I'm going to get your opinion on it. I want you to tell me what you think about it. Once you reach retirement age, instead of getting any kind of check that's probably going to be shortened, why don't we all as citizens, particularly of America, propose that the government at that moment, whatever bills we have at that moment, they just dissolve and just pay until, our last breath, whether it's a light bill. And that way we don't have to worry about money being missing or not having enough, because most people just want to live anyway. So instead of giving us the money that's not going to be there or that's fading fast, the basic needs, we get a little food allowance, we get a water, like all the basics, water, power, and then, whatever mortgage we paid for, let's just say the past, inside of 30 years. You know,
Okay.
because that's the average time of a mortgage. Let's say if you put
Right. Mm-hmm.
10 years into a mortgage and you're still into it, if you have less than 10 years to go, then they just continue to pay that. But then I guess the question would become then, well, who gets the property after that?
Yeah.
Well, whoever you will it to, I guess. But that's
that's true. Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think of that idea? Instead of giving paper money or U.S. Treasury notes, or having an allowance such as a Social Security, what do you think of that idea? Does it seem practical at all?
I'm going to say for some people it would probably feel practical. Others it probably will not, because they says, well, what if I need a little extra?
Then you can work. Then if you want to work for extra, but your basic needs, let's just say your food, whatever is equivalent to what the government gives us.
But everybody's different.
I know, but I'm just saying there instead, just like there's a cap on what the Social Security is, instead of it being in U.S. Treasury notes or a currency in an account somewhere, that you just have this card that lets you that forgives your power bill every month, your water bill. And
I get what you're saying.
If you have
the essential bills, the essentials,
the essentials that it just dissolves back into whatever this pot is that somehow the funds disappeared from. How about they just come back out of that magically some kind of way? What do you think of the idea, just in general? No?
I don't know. I don't know how that would work, because just well, if you have to submit like a budget, what you put out in regards to monies, each month.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. But see, sometimes even when you budget what you have, there's sometimes in your Social Security, there's money left over for you to do other things.
Right. Okay.
If they just block you, if they just put you in this just one little slot where they don't accommodate that little extra that you're not spending.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can only use that card, if you want to say a card, that they just pay these essentials and there's nothing extra.
Right. Oh, I get it now. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody gets the same amount in Social Security. Everybody is different.
I get
because it all depends on, your salary and where you work, whatever, the last 8 years or whatever, and that's how they calculate it, how much you didn't put in and all that stuff. So everybody's different.
Okay. So maybe that wasn't a good idea, but it was a nice thought.
It was a good thought, though. Yeah, some people would go for it, because then they say, well, then if I work on the side, that's just all me.
Right. If you work on the side. But whether it's enough or not, certain essentials during retirement, if you are officially retired and are receiving, you ought to be able to, some of those basic essentials, particularly like utilities, that ought to be like a break. I don't know, because that's what people struggle with when they retire. They can't pay those. And those are basic essentials. We all need those. Right.
And it is. There are, essentials that we do need, and we have to pay them. Of course, the cost of those things sometimes fluctuate, because everything increases. Nothing goes down. Everything goes up in regards to those essential bills, But, it's to me, I feel as though it's an individual thing. Some people would love that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then others would say, oh, yeah, I don't know. I won't be getting all my money.
Right.
Because I don't spend all my money on all of that.
Right, I get it.
And if I need extra, that if I want to take a trip or or do something, or take myself out to dinner, I don't know if that'll be included in the card. You know what I'm saying? I want to go out to dinner with some friends of mine.
Okay, so let me modify that. Modify just the basic essentials. Maybe just should be just paid. How about that?
Yeah.
And whatever you get. But there's certain things that should not be a worry or struggle just because you have served. It's almost like, you're not a part of the military. So, you get some kind of military pension. But you didn't serve the country in a military way, but you serve the culture. You serve the what is the word I'm looking for? You still serve the country, just not in the military. By working, you stimulated the economy by working and getting, being and paying into it. Not just paying into what you get back. You stimulate the economy by consuming stuff.
Right.
So if you help build it, you should, when you can no longer work, I think, that's not a bad system at all. Social Security, but there's got to be something else. I guess there's other kind of organizations that help people along those lines. But anyway.
Yeah, they do if you're not able to, because some people, they worked, had jobs that didn't pay them a lot, so they don't have a lot in Social Security, so they don't get that much. And there are a lot of people that are like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't get that much in Social Security, even at their full retirement age, or if they retire at 70, still not that much. So yes, they do have programs that will help those, like for food and things like that. They can apply for that, and the government will help them with that, because they don't get that much money out of Social Security.
Okay.
Because it's all determined by your salary on how much you're gonna get back and what you put in.
Yeah. Well. There you go. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
I want to ask you one question, and then I'm going to slide on to something real quick. Then I'll let you go. First of all, thank you for the time. I really appreciate you helping me with this. Is there anything at all about your retirement that you would change now, or anything that you would have done differently prior to retirement?
Ooh. Well, no. I'm going to say no. The only thing that bothered me about when I retired is that I didn't know this pandemic was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So that's the main thing that bothered me the most, because I was not able to travel like I wanted to.
Right.
Because of this, and I think this is going to be my first year actually getting on a plane, because I go home every year, and I haven't in the past 3 years.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the only thing that, but I would not change the timing of my retirement. I was ready. And just like I said, I planned it financially so I wouldn't have to worry about anything, and then if I wanted to get up and go and travel, I could go and do that, And the only thing that I do regret is that the pandemic happened when I decided to retire.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give my spiel on retirement, and then I want one comment from you on what I'm featuring for the whole month in regards to Black history. So thanks for sharing your retirement experience, but I want to share my retirement. Okay. I want to share my retirement experiences. Okay. I ain't never retiring. And you know why I ain't never retiring? Because I ain't never worked. And when I say I ain't never worked, it means that I have never earned, income, or earned, not even income, have earned wages, to take care of myself. I did, when I was younger, have jobs that were considered 9-to-5s. And since then, I've been an entrepreneur working, for myself and on my own. And as much as I sweat, and as much as I don't call it necessarily working, so to speak, doesn't mean that I haven't paid into, the system in many ways. But I don't think I'm ever going to retire, because what I do, I don't want to even call it work. And I'm just going to leave it right there and keep going. So thanks for sharing your time with me. And especially as it relates to your retirement, congratulations to you. And I hope you live a long time so that you can enjoy it, maybe even get more out of it than you put in. Yes, I hope so too. I'm going to pray on that one too. Okay, so, and here's what I'm going to talk about in closing. I've been celebrating Black History Month for obvious reasons. But I was going to feature a lot of contributors to Black history, but I stayed on Muhammad Ali because he's one of my favorite athletes, and there's something that happened with him in that particular that was of particular interest to me. He was accused of being a draft dodger, and he was accused of, not supporting the country by choosing to not to sign up for the draft or to go to war. And he got a lot of flack about that, and people to this day still think that, he did not deserve to be considered an American. because of his, desire to not go and fight what he called innocent people who never did him any harm, or to, go and, kill people he didn't want to kill. So I just want, as we close out in celebrating Black History Month and what Muhammad Ali, he definitely contributed to, Black history and becoming, the greatest and, just being a world-renowned athlete. What are your thoughts on his desire or, choice to not join the military and or not go and fight in the war?
Well, first of all, he was not a draft dodger. A draft dodger runs. He did not run away.
Well, that's why I said he was accused of it. So I'm glad you corrected me.
Yeah, I'm just saying, when I hear that word, it just kind of,
I knew
but
it
he wasn't. He didn't run. He just said, I'm not doing it.
Right.
And I understand the reason why he said that, because of the plight of the Black people here in the U.S. Why should I go fight people I don't know, people who's not done anything to me, for a country that does anything for me? And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I appreciated his stance, and I understood it. I understood it. Some people say, "Oh my God, my father, he did, and he was in the Air Force and he did all of that." But see, my father wasn't that guy.
Right.
Good guy, don't get me wrong. My dad was very honorable, and he retired from the Air Force. But, no, he picked his fights, and that's another story.
Okay, so you don't think Muhammad Ali was wrong for choosing to not?
I do not.
You don't think he was cutting out on the country or denying his country as an American because he chose not to be a warmonger, so to speak, or a fighter in supporting. Okay, so he did.
It was why am I fighting for this country, the United States, when they don't care about me? All these military people, including my father, when you come back from these wars, we still didn't have equal rights. They were still, considered us lazy and it was maddening.
I get it.
Even though we fought for the country, but they still want us to go back where we came from.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? We still didn't have equal rights. We still were fighting for our own rights in our own country, but y'all want us to go fight over there and help fight some people we don't know anything about.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Do you think even now, we're in 2022, do you think there are equal rights amongst, let's just say Black people in particular, since we're celebrating Black History Month? Do you think it's fair today, yes or no?
No.
Wow. How can you say that? Because this is part of the reason, I was talking about it. We're not supposed to talk about, injustice because, we're not slaves anymore. We're not being whipped or beaten, and we're not being stolen or sold anymore.
Nope.
So now slavery is over, and we should be happy that we at least got a piece of the pie. So why is it that why don't we just let it go? Why are we still saying that it's unfair? How do you have the nerve, with all that you're even being able to retire, and you were not whipped or beaten not one time? How do you have the nerve to say that it's not fair? You're not. Justice is not fair to you in this country. How do you say that?
Because we as a people are continually having to prove ourselves as a person. As a person of color, we are still proving ourselves. We're still trying to, there's too many people out there that don't think that we have equal rights, just like the voting rights. We got to still, why are we still voting on that? How come that has not become law? We don't have to vote on it every 8 to 10, I think it's 8 or 10 years. Why we got to voting rights? Why do a body of people in the government, just because they didn't like that they lost, Now they're trying to change the law in each state because they want to make sure that they don't lose and that they have that power again. Why do we have so many people? We have people, not everybody, but we have people that think that they can dictate to us and others what we want and what we don't want.
So that's
There's too much. It's just too.
That's a very long and loaded question, and we could go on for days. But here's what
we can.
I want to talk about. There's definitely quite a bit of obvious injustices, in this country and in this system, so to speak. But I want to talk about something different than, because some people say you've got it pretty good. Someone said to me a few years ago, your son graduated from a prestigious military university, and how are you discriminated against? Even a text message that I read on my live stream last week, someone asked, how are you just treated as slave, or how are you treated? And that's, again, this can go on. This is what I want to ask you, and then we're going to close, because there can be arguments everywhere. The idea that you, as a person of color, for lack of a better word, and me, the fact that we still feel that sting of the original slavery and racism that was born here and that made this country what it is. We still feel that, although we're reserved to talk about it, especially publicly. We still feel it. So, and I can hear your passion starting to go. You were about to go, and if I didn't stop you, we'd be on here for 3 days and 3 nights, talking about how unfair it is, and we know it, and everybody else knows it. Well, we won't get into that. Just the idea that you feel that you are not looked at, treated, responded to equally. There's something wrong with that picture, and that's the note I'm going to end on right there. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to make it up to you. We'll go back and we'll do lunch. We've got a big project over the weekend. I'm looking forward to that. So thank you in advance. And we're going to have to go and sit down again and have some more coffee and talk about some other good stuff. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. You do the same. Thank you so much.
You got it. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Music is the universal tool that soothes the savage beast in everyone for every occasion. It's multi-purposed. Same prescription when you're sad, happy, or even in love. Music will either enhance what's already good or make better what's not as good. So, when you find your source of music, it's like anything else you maintain. If you respect it and treat it well, it will be there when you need it. Well, Mighty Horn Music is that type of place, and Travis Bridges is that type of guy. So, let's treat him right. Your love gifts are greatly appreciated. If you like what you hear, see, or feel during this live stream and you want to show off a little, simply follow the donation platforms on the bottom of your screen. Just remember, sharing is caring. It's better to give than to receive. And if you keep more than you need, you're just plain old greedy. Thanks for tuning in. Now, back to more Mighty Horn music.